Imagine walking through dark tunnels where the walls are lined with the bones of over 6 million people, or exploring a decaying penitentiary where restless spirits still roam. Picture a house where a tragedy unfolded, leaving behind a legacy of terror that haunts the very walls. And then an island where the doll's eyes seem to follow you, as if the spirit of a young girl is still watching. If you think you're ready, we will see some of the most haunted places on Earth in this amazing episode of SNotReal. And if that doesn't send a shiver down your spine, wait until you hear about an island where the very soil is mixed with the ashes of the dead, haunted by the cries of tortured spirits. Click subscribe and let's dive in. 10. Poveglia Island, Italy. Let's travel to a small island that might just be the most haunted in the world. Poveglia Island in Italy. Settled between Venice and Lido in the Venetian lagoon, this island has a dark history that makes it an infamous spot for those fascinated by the paranormal. Initially used as a quarantine zone for plague victims, it later became an asylum for the mentally ill in the 1920s, where it's rumored that a doctor tortured and experimented on patients before he met his own mysterious death. Visiting Poveglia today, you'd find it abandoned, with the broken-down hospital, church, and bell tower standing as silent witnesses to its chilling past. The island is officially forbidden to visitors, but that hasn't stopped the tales of ghosts and tortured spirits that are said to roam the island, crying out into the night. It's said that the soil of the island, mixed with human ash from the burned bodies of plague victims, has seen more than its share of suffering. Interestingly, during renovations, workers found a mass grave containing thousands of skeletons that dated back to the Black Death. 9. Port Arthur, Tasmania, Australia. Next, let's move to the hauntingly beautiful ruins of Port Arthur in Tasmania. This attractive landscape was once a brutal, punishing colony where the hardest of British criminals were sent. Today, it's a serene tourist spot, but the ghosts of its unattractive past remain in the air. The decomposing buildings and preserved ruins stand as silent witnesses to the suffering and harsh punishments that were once meted out on this isolated island. Visitors often report seeing spirits and hearing screams that echo across the bay. Remnants, perhaps, of the past. The weirdest part? Tours are offered at night, where you can explore the darkened ruins with only a lantern to guide your way. It's not uncommon for guests to feel sudden chills, or the sensation of being followed by something just out of sight. Port Arthur was also a revolutionary place for mental health treatments, some of which were more horrifying than the ailments they promised to cure. It's a stark reminder that sometimes the cure can be worse than the condition. 8. Leap Castle, Ireland. Have you ever walked into a place where the air feels thick with stories from long ago? Leap Castle in Ireland is just such a place, where every stone seems to pulse with ancient secrets and shadows. Located in County Offaly, this castle is often dubbed the most haunted castle in Ireland, and for good reason. Its history is steeped in bloodshed, from family disputes to hidden prisons filled with the remains of unfortunate prisoners. As you step through its heavy wooden doors, you might feel a chill run down your spine, not just from the cold Irish air, but from the peculiar presence of its former inhabitants. The castle's most famous ghost, known as the Elemental, is said to be a terrifying presence with a decomposing face, which reportedly smells of sulfur and decay when nearby. Imagine bumping into that on a dark, stormy night. Beneath the chapel, a hidden cell was discovered filled with human skeletons, all piled on one another. It's said they were dropped through an entrance, left to die a frightening death. 7. Old Idaho State Penitentiary. The Old Idaho State Penitentiary in Boise, Idaho. Opening its doors in 1872, this facility operated for over a century as a defender of correction and punishment. Today, its sandstone walls and iron gates stand as silent, unnatural reminders of the past, enveloping visitors in an atmosphere thick with the echoes of history. The penitentiary is infamous for its solitary confinement cells, known ominously as Siberia, where prisoners were left in dark, cramped conditions, often leading to tales of madness and despair. These stories contribute to the chilling aura that now pervades the facility, with many visitors reporting strange noises, ghostly apparitions, and sudden cold spots. a classic recipe for a haunted location. Interestingly, one of the most talked about spirits is believed to be a former prisoner who loyally tended the rose garden during his sentence. Today, some say he still keeps watch over his flowers, a lesser-known but touching reminder of the humanity that persisted even behind bars. 6. Bhangarh Fort, India. The Bhangarh Fort in Rajasthan, India, often listed as one of the most haunted places in Asia. This 17th-century fort is surrounded by a ruined village and offers an attractive yet spine-chilling landscape. According to legend, the entire area was ruined when a magician who fell hopelessly in love with the local princess cast a dark spell that led to the ruin of the entire town. Today, the Archaeological Survey of India officially prohibits visitors from entering the fort at night. Those who've wandered the grounds speak of an overwhelming sense of anxiety and strange feelings that diffuse the atmosphere. The air around Bhangarh is often described as heavy, charged with an ancient, restless energy. What makes Bhangarh a particularly fascinating spot isn't just its haunted reputation. Imagine being at the gates as the sun sets, only to be reminded that beyond this point, you enter at your own risk. Quite the adventure, isn't it? 5. The Myrtles Plantation, St. Francisville, Louisiana. In St. Francisville, Louisiana, the Myrtles Plantation is often cited as one of America's most haunted homes. Built in 1796 by General David Bradford, the plantation looks like a picture from a history book. But don't let its beauty fool you. It's also the setting for numerous ghost stories. Story has it that the plantation is home to at least 12 ghosts. The most famous of these is Chloe, a slave who allegedly poisoned 2 members of the household out of revenge for a punishment. Today, guests and staff claim to see Chloe with her green turban, glancing around corners or reflected in mirrors. Others report mysterious footsteps, children's laughter echoing through the halls, and a grand piano that plays by itself. What makes the Myrtles even more chilling is the mirror located in the main hallway. Visitors have reported seeing handprints and figures in the reflection, handprints that can't be wiped away because they appear to be inside the glass. It's as if the mirror itself is a portal to another time, trapping spirits within its frame. 4. Island of Dolls, Xochimilco, Mexico. Welcome to the Island of Dolls, located in the canals of Xochimilco, just south of Mexico City. This small island offers a uniquely disturbing sight. Thousands of dolls, many executed or missing limbs, hanging from trees and scattered around the land. The story behind this spooky spectacle starts with the island's lone caretaker, Don Julian Santana Barrera. Julian believed that the dolls helped to appease the spirit of a young girl who had drowned in the nearby waters. He spent over 50 years hanging dolls around the island to protect himself and the girl's spirit from evil. Visitors today report a scary atmosphere and claim Doll's spirit of a young girl who had drowned in the nearby waters. Doll's eyes seem to follow them as they move through the island. Imagine walking alone, only to hear a soft whisper from the rustling leaves, or seeing a doll's eyes blink. Some even leave dolls of their own to add to the collection, continuing a tradition that blurs the line between tribute and terror. 3. Amityville House, Long Island, New York. Over to Long Island, New York, the Amityville house on Ocean Avenue is synonymous with paranormal activity and terrifying horror. The story of this house reached the world through the famous Amityville Horror, a tale of a family terrorized by supernatural forces after moving into what they thought would be their dream home. The horror began in 1974, when Ronald DeFeo Jr. tragically murdered 6 members of his family in this very house. A year later, the Lutz family moved in but escaped just 28 days later, claiming to be driven out by intense paranormal phenomena including groups of flies, ghostly figures, and mysterious voices. The house itself, with its eerie quarter-moon windows resembling wicked eyes, seems to watch over Ocean Avenue. Despite numerous changes in ownership and modifications, reports of strange occurrences continue to emerge. The Amityville house challenges the boundary between fact and fiction, leaving many to wonder where one ends and the other begins. 2. Eastern State Penitentiary, USA. Have you ever felt chills while walking through a place where every stone recounts a story of sorrow? Welcome to the Eastern State Penitentiary in Philadelphia, where the walls do indeed talk. If by talk, we mean whisper ghostly secrets. This colossal structure, with its towering guard towers and sprawling cell blocks, was once the world's first true penitentiary, designed to reform criminals through isolation. Now, it stands as one of the most haunted places in America. When it opened in 1829, its method of penitence meant that prisoners were kept alone, in silence. This extreme isolation was supposed to help them find remorse, but often led to madness instead. Nowadays, the crumbling cells and vacant guard towers are said to be inhabited by the restless spirits of those prisoners. Visitors report unnatural sounds, shadowy figures darting through the corridors, and a feeling of being watched by unseen eyes. Imagine hearing a giggle when you know there's nobody there to laugh. 1. The Catacombs, Paris, France. Ever wondered what lies beneath the bustling streets of Paris? Far below the romantic cafes and majestic Eiffel Tower, there stretches a dark and mysterious world known as the catacombs. This strange underworld is home to the remains of over 6 million people, their bones arranged in haunting formations along the narrow corridors. This ugly web was created in the late 18th century, when Parisian cemeteries were overflowing, causing serious health problems. To solve this, officials decided to transfer the bones to abandoned quarry tunnels, thus giving birth to these ominous catacombs. The walls lined with skulls and bones create not just a horrid art gallery, but also a chilling reminder of Paris's past. Navigating through these shadowy tunnels, you might feel a cold breeze or hear the echo of a distant, unexplained whisper. It's a place where the line between the living and the dead seems unsettlingly thin. So if you're brave enough to descend into this underworld, be prepared for a silent conversation with history. Thanks for joining us on this scary journey. Don't forget to subscribe for more ghostly tales. See you next time on SNotReal.